Brennan Johnson will open the scoring, minute 37. Very comfortable evening. Manchester United will not really threaten, and Spurs will emerge victorious. Spoiler was right, Phoenix was right, Robin Hood was right, you were wrong. Na 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 na. Question. Midas at your own peril. Even the goal scorer. I even gave you the goal scorer. I missed my 4 minutes. 4 minutos. I was away. That's it. It was a goal. Brennan goal, not an own goal. They gave it to Brennan. The spoiler. It's getting tough now to see where we're going to rank all of these, but it's right up there. It's right up there because for some reason that is completely beyond me. Manchester United were favourites. Based on what? I have no idea. But as always, the spoiler has struck again. And there's a lot that we're going to go through in this game. To start with, the game itself, make no mistake about it. This is one of the worst games of football I have ever seen in all my years of watching the sport. It was labeled as a mid-off, and it played exactly like that. I mean, it was shocking. The low level of football on display yesterday, the amount of silly mistakes in a European final. The conference final next week, Chelsea-Betis, 10 times higher quality than this. I mean, it was atrocious to watch. How on earth these guys made it so far, I will never understand. But either way, of course, congratulations to Tottenham Hotspurs. Congratulations to Ange for one of the coldest quotes in football history. The difference in this game, the difference and the reason why Spurs won is a very simple reason, ladies and gentlemen. One manager was willing to adjust and adapt his tactics, whilst the other one done what he always does and fail. That's the only difference. That's it. Because sure enough, Spurs were the ones missing players. Manchester United had the stronger bench, the stronger depth, but it didn't matter whatsoever because one is a stubborn, bona fide loser. And we'll get into Manchester United and Amorim. But starting with Spurs, I don't think, again, the players played a crazy game. They didn't need to, though. That's the truth. And Ange realized that. Even going 5 at the back, like I told you guys, he's done this all-European campaign. He's understood, listen, I have to change the way I play because if not, I'm not going to be able to win with this team. And he done exactly that. And of course, the defenders performed incredibly well. Vicario, this guy I was dead certain he was going to make a mistake. And he did. And he got baited by Van den Ven on one of them. Bissouma I thought was good. But again, the others, I mean, Solanke ran his socks off, credit to him. Richarlison as well for 67 minutes ran his socks off. But the highlight of the game was Romero antagonizing Slaphead and Slaphead falling for the mind games, which shows the difference between the two players and the two teams. I mean, how on earth in a final are you falling for what Romero is trying to do? It's so embarrassing. But that's what Slaphead is, embarrassing. For Manchester United, before we get into United, Ange has to go. Still. If there's any Spurs fan that is still Ange in and is being emotional, you cannot be emotional. And you're like, well, who do we bring in? I've got 2 names for you. Thomas Frank or Farioli. I think both will do a great job at Spurs. And it's the correct time for Ange to leave. If you're going to go with him next season, it's not going to end well again. And in all likelihood, you'll sack him halfway through and it'll be a complete disaster of a throwaway season again. Super happy, of course, for Heung-min Son for winning the trophy. Although I'm glad Ange didn't start him because you could see again that he's just not the same Son, which is sad to see. But either way, full congratulations to Spurs and their fans. They deserve this. They've had to wait a very long time. And like I told you yesterday, this idea that Spurs are elite bottlers, it came off like just football Twitter people because they don't do their research. You look at the finals they've played. That's what most people base their analysis on yesterday. Oh, Manchester United will win because Spurs are bottlers. Yeah, do your job. Do your job. You can only look at history at one point. If you're going to look at it, do your research and analyze properly. But of course, Manchester United. The amount of months of arguing I've had to do with this despicable fan base at times, and it pains me to say that because Manchester United is such a big club and they do have fans that know what they're talking about. But the fact that you had to wait until yesterday to now turn your backs on this loser makes me sick. You have a pair of eyes. God gave you a pair of eyes. You freaking use them. Use them. Everything he got wrong yet again. What is a manager supposed to be good at? Tactics, there are none. There is absolutely zero identity. Player selection. This guy started with Luke Shaw and Mason Mount yesterday. I know it's easy to say in hindsight, but how on earth can you leave Ugarte out in a game like that? Manchester United were completely missing his aggressiveness in midfield. Shocking. Ugarte Casemiro got them to this point. He doesn't even play Ugarte a simple second. He has absolutely destroyed Kobe Mino, gives him a single minute. Garnacho, who I'm not his biggest fan of, but it's very evident that Spurs' weakness all season is Pedro Porro. Again, Garnacho did have 15 minutes, mind you, because he's trying to make it seem now like he's, like I got United to this point. No, you didn't. You're dog shit. But Pedro Porro is their weakness. You got to send someone to go at him. Mason Mount couldn't. And Mazraoui wing back. How on earth does he still do this? And you guys still defend him. The only Manchester United player yesterday that could leave that pitch with their head held high is Lenny Oro, who is, with respect to Manchester United, way too good for them. I mean, Real Madrid must be regretting this and he must be regretting it himself. How on earth has he ended up with these losers? And as always, the key players who Manchester United hype up beyond belief didn't deliver. Bruno Fernandes is not as good as you think he is. He's a good player, but he's not as good as you think he is. And Amad Diallo, he got alpha'd like a little kid. And he's 22 now, mind you, eh? Bullied, man. Get the hell out of here, kid. Bullied. Rasmus, You know the most embarrassing thing for Rasmus Højlund? Joshua Zirkzee comes on within 20 seconds, does more than what Højlund done in the previous 72 minutes. They get the ball to Zirkzee, Zirkzee lays it back. It's as simple as that. But that was still more than what Højlund done. Big problems. Big problems there. And of course, big problems for Manchester United in general. If there is anybody that is Amorim in after that game, you should have been out before. But now, if there's anybody in, you don't actually love the club. You're a disgrace to your club, and you are actually an enemy to this club. Like many of these so-called Manchester United fans have been an enemy to their club. Make no mistake about it. A big part of the reason why Manchester United are in the position they're in is because of those losers like Brenda Cesare, who sit there and yap about stuff they have absolutely no clue about. The fact that you have defended this guy and backed him and put your club into this position is sickening. You didn't do your research yet again, and as always, you hype up mediocrity. That's what this club has been about. You hype up mediocrity. You claim Bruno's on the same level as De Bruyne, you claim Ahmad is on the same level as Saka, and you claim Ruben Amorim is on the same level as Pep. Well, look at this now. The thing that makes me sick, and I've said this before about this sickening, vile manager, worst manager in history, I've never seen anything like this, is, yet again, look at his substitutions. like for like, until minute 90 is the one where he makes slight adjustment. And what is his game plan? Put Maguire up front. That is the only adjustment that he can make. Fact of the matter is, when it's not 11v10 and when he's not playing against a bottom 3 Premier League team, he's been found out in every single game. If that is not crazy, I don't know what is. And you can claim, oh, but we went to the Etihad and won. Look how you won. Look how you won. You're part of the problem. You're a disgrace. You're a disgrace. How on earth can a manager not adjust and adapt? And you blame the players again, and you blame that again. I'll show you. Next week I'll show you. On Football Manager, no signings. I can take this team. I can win the Premier League easy. I promise you. Easy. Because you think the players this, the players that. The manager is the most important thing in modern football. Rip Bozo. Let me tell you who Manchester United should make. 2 names. Antonio Conte, who could be available, who wanted to join 3 years ago, who could take over Manchester United team that does not need to play week in, week out, because you won't. He'd be absolutely perfect. Minimum top 3, I can guarantee you that. His speciality as well is turning average players into superstars. He'll do a phenomenal job, I promise you, because he's a winner at heart. And the other one, another Italian, Massimiliano Allegri. These managers, enough of this nonsense. Oh, we want to get a modern young manager to do this and to do that and to do that. You don't know what you're talking about. Stop. Enough. Bring in alpha males. That's what Manchester United has been always about. That's how you have continued to win trophies. Sir Alex Ferguson, Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, Eric Ten Hag, alpha males. That's the DNA of Manchester United. Not this cretin here. That's the proper heritage of Manchester United. One of Conte and Allegri. And you'll get back to winning ways. Even though at the moment, the future, of course, looks bleak. But that's the damage Amorim has done. Rip Bozo took United from 8th to 16th and went trophyless. This is the sad reality. Do they have enough money to sack him? Loser. Worst 7 months I've ever seen. Echo that. Look at all the players that Spurs had out yesterday. Embarrassing. And he's claiming they were the better team as well. What did you do? You done nothing. And there's people that defend him. Make me sick. Rip Bozo, spoiler, and Robin Hood, yet again, told you from day one, because that's the difference between me and the rest. I don't need to wait because I do my research. I don't only watch one league and you do. You only watch one league and you talk. How can you talk? Do your research. And then you'll know.